Wait. You're telling me that supposedly Minnesota Wild defenseman Quinn Hughes feels bad for the Wild? What in the world? Where's this coming from? Well, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail. There's going to be some variation of that wording present in the way this video is presented, because today we're diving into a post made by none other than NHL Trade Rumours that garnered significant attention over the past 2 days. This article was posted on Twitter, courtesy of the NHL Trade Rumours Twitter page. It scored 500,000 views, 146 replies, 155 retweets and quote tweets, 789 likes, and 89 saves. Let's go out there and read this piece. The Wild and the Devils are reportedly discussing a potential Quinn Hughes blockbuster. Now here's the thing. I did the brunt work of skimming through this article. Okay, not skimming through, I actually read the piece, and nowhere in this article does the writer Sean Sinclair actually provide a source for what's being written about, not doubting that Sinclair probably has reason to go out there and make this, but I'm just saying that every single thing that is claimed in this little piece right here, there is no name attached to it. There isn't an Elliot Friedman, there isn't a Bob McKenzie, there's no LeBron, no Dreger, no Pagnotta, no Saravelli, no anybody. It's just being stated as if it is going on. So let's dive into this. Let's read about the feels bad bro part of it on Quinn Hughes' behalf and try to see if this actually makes sense. Minnesota Wild GM Bill Guerin has learned quickly that Quinn Hughes' preference is to play hockey in New Jersey with his brothers Jack and Luke. The Wild have been trying to sign the Norris Trophy winning defenseman to a contract extension since July 1st. And Hughes has been holding firm, keeping his options open for next summer. Since no extension has been inked yet, multiple teams have made trade offers, including the Devils. Hughes has 1 year left in his contract at a very reasonable $7.8 million AAV. And interestingly enough, he doesn't have any trade protection, giving Guerin the option of moving him to the highest bidder. The only thing is, the rest of the league is aware that Hughes will very likely eventually end up in New Jersey. So how much are teams willing to pay for a 1 year rental? Look for the Devils to continue to push for landing Hughes before the start of the season. They have Dawson Mercer, Dougie Hamilton, Seamus Casey, and Anton Shulayev, whom the Wild would love to get their hands on, and it's just a matter of fit, both under the cap and ensuring the Wild aren't taking a step back this season. Of course, given Quinn Hughes' relationship with Bill Guerin through the Wild and USA Hockey programs, some feel that he feels bad for how much the Wild gave up for him. And signing this new deal, or leaving for his brothers, is pulling on his heartstrings. There's also an outside chance that this becomes a 3-team trade with Dylan Larkin of the Wings getting involved, or Cutter Gauthier of the Ducks being included as part of a 3-team deal. Hughes wants to play with his brothers, it's the worst-kept secret in the NHL, and now Guerin has to deal with it front and center entering next season. Now, why is it the worst-kept secret in the NHL? You can thank our good old friend Jim Rutherford in Vancouver for that, who essentially went out there and opened this can of worms involuntarily by himself with no outside pressure to do so. Quinn Hughes wants to play with his brothers, it's no secret. Still, I do have issue with the way that the article is presenting all this information. It's written as if it was from a top-tier NHL insider. No disrespect to Sean Sinclair, but you ain't no Elliot Friedman. So I question the validity of some of the stuff that is in here. But then again, there are a lot of things that we can take from this article that would spark up some great conversations. What could a New Jersey Devils trade package look like? Why would New Jersey want to go out there and make a trade for Quinn Hughes? I saw this question being popped up here and there amongst social media. But if New Jersey knows that Quinn Hughes wants to play in New Jersey, why don't they just wait? Wait a few months, then sign Quinn Hughes in the offseason in 2027, and it's all good in Applewood, right? Well, that's the thing. If you get Quinn Hughes on your team now, you are a cup contender. You have an ample opportunity of doing so much more damage in the playoffs this year if you had Quinn Hughes versus if you didn't have Quinn Hughes. Never mind the fact that you'd have to be trading away somebody off of your roster. You might trade away some prospects, whatever, to get Quinn Hughes. Hughes is one of the best players in the league. Second best defenseman in the league, pretty much a top 10 player guaranteed on most lists, if not a top 7 player. He is that guy. He is so damn good, and NHL teams have it in their best interests to compete as much as they can in whichever way possible that is actually reasonable to attain in the now. Acquiring Quinn Hughes this summer not only gives New Jersey more time to negotiate a deal with this guy, and if they get it done quickly, they could actually sign him to an 8-year deal, but signing him and acquiring him this summer would give the Devils another year with Quinn Hughes, and that's another year of being competitive, another year of getting closer to the Stanley Cup, just saying, okay, well, let's just stink, or maybe not stink, but we'll just be okay, so-so in 2026, 2027, while we wait for our franchise defenseman to hit free agency, and then we'll go out there and sign him. That's sitting duck business. You can't do that. If you're the GM of a National Hockey League team, if you know a guy wants to play for you, and you have an opportunity to grab him right now, you explore that option. And so, do I doubt the idea that New Jersey is seeking to make a trade happen for Quinn Hughes, assuming it's already been established that Hughes ain't signing his extension? I wouldn't be surprised. What about these names? Shalayev, Casey, Hamilton, Mercer? I mean, none of these guys are centers. I mean, 2 of them are defense prospects, one's an actual defenseman, and then Dawson Mercer, you can plug and play wherever. You can play him at center, but it's not really guaranteed that it'll work out all too well. These trades and whatever it is Minnesota has to juggle in order to facilitate a Quinn Hughes move, I don't know if Minnesota can genuinely make a trade that actually improves their team. Like, when you're losing Quinn Hughes, you are losing the best player of the trade, of course. And the Wild did give up a pretty significant package to get Hughes in the first place. Marco Rossi, Ogren, Zeev Buyam, all great prospects, and then a first-round pick that became Adam Novotny. That's pretty good, too. Minnesota shelled out a lot to get Quinn. And so reading this idea over here, that, oh yeah, Bill Guerin and Hughes, they've got a great relationship, you know? When Quinn Hughes was traded from Minnesota, they flew out a private jet to get this guy. They gave him a car. They gave him his favorite meal on the flight. They welcomed him with open arms to Minnesota. And he's the GM of the hockey team that just won the gosh darn gold medal, which Quinn Hughes was the best player at that tournament in Milano Cortina. He's got a great relationship with the guy, and so it's like, oh, does he feel bad for how much the Wild gave up for him? Does he feel bad that he actually wants to go to New Jersey? He wants to play with his brothers. Elliot Friedman, all these other insiders, they were saying that, yeah, Quinn Hughes understands the magnitude of the trade and the risk that Minnesota made to get this guy. He respects that. But Elliot Friedman also predicted that there'd be a Quinn Hughes extension done by the end of July. It's now August 25th and the guy still isn't signed. At least at the time of recording this video. Maybe by the time this video is public on YouTube, there's already a signed contract. Maybe there's a trade. Maybe there's something else. Who really knows? But this has been circulating a little bit over the past few days. I didn't necessarily want to dip my toes into the 3-team trade element of it all. I feel like that's a video for another day. Can we talk about Cutter Gauthier? Can we talk about Dylan Larkin? Anaheim, Detroit, getting involved in a triple-team move with Minnesota? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. How do you feel about the latest on the Quinn Hughes situation? And do you think Quinn Hughes feels bad for the Minnesota Wild? Oh man, you guys gave up so much to get me, but I just don't want to be here. Oh, it's paining my heart. If my experience as a Canucks fan, watching this dude ever since he was drafted in 2018 in the media, watching him as a captain, if my experience is worth anything, I would be shocked if Quinn Hughes felt bad for the Minnesota Wild. This guy didn't give a rat's behind about Vancouver. You think he cares about Minnesota? I don't think so. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this. And bye.